Hey guys, how's it going? So 2 videos going on today. I just finished working on the jet skis and John came over. We're helping John do some work to his Jeep right now. We're putting a winch on his bumper and nice little transformation is gonna happen today. So you already know how to take the bumper off, so we're just gonna super speed through that real fast and yeah, you'll catch up when everything happens.
I'm still waiting for the answers to the universe, waiting for someone to wake me up, tell me that this is all just a dream. I'm still waiting for a different sign, waiting for someone to take me away, get these thoughts off my mind. As I wait, thinking of you, hoping that you are thinking of me too. I cannot sleep without you by me, and I miss you, I miss you, I miss you.
Alright guys, so we just uninstalled this bracket to get reinstalled right now. What we got to do is put 2 carriage bolts through these holes here because we're not going to be able to get to them after the fact. So now you're going to need 6 hands or a John. So we're going to have John hold that in place while I loosely thread these bolts back through. And it's still going to be a process. Alright, so using the carriage bolts we just installed, now we're going to fit up our plate. Loosely thread these guys on. You don't want to tighten them up too much. That way we can adjust everything later.
Okay.
Alright, now if you want to grab the zip ties, yeah. The zip tie to the frame horn.
Right here?
Yes, sir. Slightly done off camera, install these monster zip ties. What you're going to do is, this is going to hold the winch plate in place as you align everything and then tighten up those back bolts. Everything's really dark and black, so it's hard to see, but the back bolt, carriage bolts we installed here. So we're going to tighten this up, get everything in place to where it needs to be, and finish her up. Alright, so this was supposed to be an easy install and it's not. So some of the models on the skid plate that holds the skid plate in place, the factory skid, has this welded nut here. This hits the bracket that allows adjustment, and we're having some issues with that adjustment, so we have to cut it off. So that's what I've been doing for the last 15 minutes, just cutting off a nut. Ow, I hit my foot. So we kept everything loose, and I painted these bolts because everything got scratched up after I had to cut those nuts off. We still have these zip ties holding everything in place. We're probably going to keep those there until it is time to just put the bumper on. Our next step is going to be installing the winch itself, so that's always the worst part. Things are heavy. Things are heavy. Alright, so we're going to get into it. So yeah, keep everything loose until you have it right where you want it. That way you can line up the holes for the bumper all nice and easy, because the less messing with the bumper you have to do at the end, the better, the more you're going to thank yourself. So we're going to finish up here. Alright, so we did a little bit of work off camera. We routed the power wires here, tucked everything nice away as neat, as clean as possible. It's coming up here through the fender liner, up here under the air box, and right into the battery, so everything's nice and clean. We did a little more work off camera. We got the Fairlead semi on because in typical everything fashion, they never have the right size bolts. We got the flat length E all hooked up. The winch is all hooked up. It works great. All the winch rope is already on, so that's not a problem there. Everything's buttoned up, and we're just about to put his hoop on. So we're gonna take these bolts off, hoop on, bolts back on, and we're gonna be good to go. So we're wrapping things up right now. We just took, I want to call them nutserts, but they're not nutserts. They're like tab nuts off the back of the bumper, off these two holes here. These holes are getting reused with hardware from the Maximus kit. This bolt hole gets covered up. There's a reinforcement bracket that ties into the bumper reinforcement that John's tightening up right now because it's in a horrible spot. And that is going to be using this top hole right here. So it is going to mount up. It's gonna mount up like so, just like that. So it's gonna look really good, and we're getting near the end here. So that's where it's at. Hopefully, next time we check in, it'll New Year's Eve. We'll be at New Year's Eve at that point.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes, they know.
I do not need them. Alright guys, that is all for today's video. We got this all wrapped up on John's Jeep. It's looking pretty good. Definitely need some bolts for that Fairlead, but other than that, things looking great, and took a lot longer than we thought it was going to, but that's because nothing ever goes as planned. But
okay guys, so the camera died in that last clip when we were finishing up John's Jeep. It's like 2 days later. I had to work, do some other stuff, went out with some friends, had a good time. That's a new vehicle. There might be some to the channel with that. It's my dad's car. He just picked it up. I like it a lot. It's really nice. It's a good driver. Grand Cherokee Altitude Edition. But I really forget where I was at in that clip, but this pretty much effectively ends today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Warren winch install with a factory bumper and the Warren winch plate. Couple hiccups here and there. We had to drill some stuff out and we had to cut off a nut. But other than that, guys, it was really straightforward and really easy install. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one.
We know that there's no room for doubt.